Welcome back to Couple Movie Watchers with Anna. Talking about Demon Slayer Entertainment District Arc, Episode 5. Things are gonna get real flashy. Available on Hulu, Crunchyroll, and Funimation. One cool thing about it though, just wanted to let you know, on Hulu, the episode is released in around 7:45 a.m. and Funimation and Crunchyroll released the episode around 8 a.m. So Hulu releases the episode 15 minutes earlier than the other two. Whoever has Hulu, you're lucky. Okay, back to the episode. At the beginning of the episode, you find Usui finds one of his wives, like, all beat up. She basically poisoned herself because she was telling him that she couldn't tell she couldn't communicate with him because the demon ended up finding out who she was, and she just wanted to, because she got caught and everything. So she was kind of like struggling. He ended up giving her an antidote, and then he went to go look for the demon. And then it goes back to Tanjiro fighting Daki, and when he's fighting Daki, he can feel himself being stronger when he does his fire breathing over the water breathing. And so he's like fighting her, doing the fire breathing, and he chants ablaze, 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 and then he says, "Set your heart ablaze." And then you see Kyojuro, and it kind of made me tear up a bit. I was like, no, you know, just he was thinking about him while he was doing his fire breathing move. And it goes back to a flashback where Tanjiro's practicing with Inosuke and Inosuke, and they're doing their practicing, and then he does a fire breathing move and he collapses, has trouble breathing. They freak out and ask him if he's okay, and then it goes back to him fighting the girl, fighting Daki, and he uses a lot of his energy, and while he's fighting her, and he continues to do his fire breathing attacks because he feels stronger, and you know it's more sharp for him. But you know he collapses again, and then the Daki was almost like so close to about to attack him, and he like calms down. He catches his breath, and then he was able to get out of the way and continue fighting with her. But yeah, like it's kind of like interesting to see how he's able to do these moves, but he suffers like health wise. I mean, like to me, it looked like he's like having a heart attack, or panic attack, and trouble breathing is just all bad for him. Like, but I mean, he feels stronger and he feels like a better connection with the Hinokami Kagura moves. So it's something interesting to see how it's gonna like, if he's able to continue doing that, or is it gonna affect his health, and then it goes back to a flashback again, and then you see him talking to Kyo, because Kyo is like one of the girls that takes care of him at the nursery, and she wants to tell the lady Shinobu about Tanjiro's temperature being high. He asks her not to tell her. He tells her, he's able to do more moves, more Hinokami Kagura moves when he has a fever and wants to practice a little more before she tells Lady Shinobu. And Kyo is worried about him but goes with his wishes, and she tells him only for a little longer. Um and then as he's fighting Daki, he thinks about the people that has suffered because of the demons that and he's like, even though he's like kind of weak, he's able to like keep up with her and not get hurt. He does kind of get pushed around a little bit, but not like to the extent of getting cut or anything. Which is I think it's pretty cool that you're able to see that. And then we go into Inosuke looking for the demon's place. Like he's looking for a demon. He has this feeling about the house. He goes around and he um he finds like something underneath the house, and he's able to go through, but his head was only able to go through the hole, and he basically dislocates his arms to go through the passage under the house. And you see him traveling like a worm, and I'm like, what the heck? It made me laugh. And then he finds where Daki keeps the people trapped on her belt. Ends up fighting Daki's belt. And he's so disgusted with the belt, he calls it a worm belt, which is ironic that he traveled like a worm and fights the demon belt, calls it a worm belt. I thought it was funny. And then as Inosuke is fighting the belt, he was cutting the belt in a quick, sharp manner that he was able to free most of the women that were trapped by the belt. Daki tells the belt to eat some of the people she has trapped to be stronger, because she wants the belt to trap Inosuke. She wants him for herself. She says you can attack. She says you can attack me, but I'm not. The belt tells Inosuke, you can attack me, but I'm not the main source. I can get these women you can't protect. And as she's going to grab the woman, he goes and tries to save them, but he gets help from Usui's wives. They throw some daggers at the belt and trap the belt, and then you know they're discussing like, oh, one of the wives was like complaining that she can't take care of them and she was easily trapped, and then Inosuke's kind of like entertained with them. And then you see Zenitsu sleeping form, which I think he's really cool when he's sleeping. He's hitting the belt with his thunder breathing, and then Inosuke's like, maybe he should stay sleeping the whole time. And it's just funny how he's like hitting him, and then the wives were like watching him, and then the belt was kind of thinking, well, I hear two different hits, that she knows that it was the Zenitsu doing one hit, but then she noticed another hit coming through the top of the floor. And then you see Usui coming through the ground, cuts the whole belt down and ends up destroying him. That's how strong Usui is, because he's one of the Hashira. And then we get to see the backstory of how Usui got his wives, and he tells them that he wants them to only think about themselves and come back to him. He said, first priority yourselves, then the citizens, and then me. And then he tells them in a flashy way, you are more important to me, so don't die on me. And then they see him, he sees them, and he basically is proud of his wives and doesn't move with his swords. Usui says, starting now, things are gonna get real flashy. And then it ends the episode. Overall, the episode was pretty cool. I thought, you know, we get to see their backstory, how they got together, and then we get to see Zenitsu doing his moves, even though he's not aware of them. And Inosuke being Inosuke, the Lord Inosuke. He called himself Lord Inosuke. I'm like, all right, this guy, doing his thing, but he's always on top of it. You would think he wouldn't be on top of it, but he's always on top of it. He's pretty cool. And then Tanjiro, you know, fighting the upper demon by himself, even though he's getting himself beat up, his blade beat, his sword beat up. He's still fighting, you know. So yeah. So if you didn't know, you could catch this show on Hulu, Crunchyroll, and Funimation. And then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know if you like these episodes, if you're interested in like watching this. Until next time. Bye. Peace.